For context, the CCTV footage you just watched shows an elementary school teacher exiting a store holding a small plastic bag. That very item she purchased, and what followed that day is the start of a case that would leave you speechless. This happened on February 10, 2025, at an elementary school in Daejeon, South Korea. A 7-year-old girl named Kim Ha-neul went missing shortly after her afternoon classes ended. Around 5 p.m., her after-school academy teacher arrived to pick her up just like any other day. The teacher saw Ha-neul walk out of her classroom, but about 10 minutes later, she still hadn't come downstairs. The academy teacher went in search of her, but still couldn't find her, so she panicked and quickly called Ha-neul's parents. Ha-neul's grandmother, who lived close to the school, rushed over immediately, and her father, Mr. Kim, sped there the moment he heard the news. By the time he arrived, a few police officers were already searching the area. The biggest fear was that someone might have lured Ha-neul off school grounds, maybe into one of the many apartment buildings surrounding the school. But even that didn't make sense. Someone would have seen her since there was only one entrance leading to the outside. Mr. Kim opened the parenting app he usually used to track her, and her location showed she was still somewhere near the school, but it wasn't specific. Then he clicked on the app's Sound Around feature, which is a tool that lets parents listen through their child's phone microphone. But he couldn't hear her voice. Instead, he heard a slow, labored breathing, which didn't sound like Ha-neul. At that moment, he knew someone was with her. While this was happening, Ha-neul's grandmother searched every corner of the school until she got into the audiovisual room, and that's when she found both Ha-neul and the homeroom teacher of the second grade class, Myeong Jae-won, lying on the floor with visible knife injuries. They were rushed to the hospital, but the 7-year-old Ha-neul didn't make it. However, doctors said the teacher would survive. At first, everyone thought maybe a stranger had broken in and attacked them both. But when Myeong Jae-won regained consciousness, the first thing she did was laugh hard like she had just witnessed the biggest joke of her life. After she was done laughing hysterically, the police rushed to question her, and it was only then that she confessed to what had happened that day. And what she said was quite shocking. 48-year-old Myeong Jae-won had reportedly been receiving treatment for depression since 2018. In early December 2024, she began a planned 6-month leave of absence from work. However, she returned earlier than expected after her doctor advised that her condition wasn't socially debilitating. Still, there were growing signs that her mental state was unstable. During her leave, she began experiencing suicidal thoughts. After returning to work, her behavior became increasingly erratic. 4 days before the incident, she twisted an arm and tried to strangle her colleague simply because that person asked if something was wrong. On the day of the incident, she was seen on CCTV purchasing the very weapon later used in the attack. She had made up her mind to end her own life, but according to her later statement, she didn't want to die alone. In her words, "It didn't matter which child. I just wanted to do it with someone, so she decided to randomly pick the last child who left school that day." Unfortunately, the last child remaining at school that day was 7-year-old Kim Ha-neul. The moment Ha-neul left her classroom to meet her academy teacher, Myeong Jae-won approached her and said she had a book to give her. Trusting her teacher, Ha-neul followed her into the school's audio-visual room. That's where Myeong Jae-won attacked her before turning the weapon on herself. Kim Ha-neul was described as a bright, cheerful girl who dreamed of becoming a K-pop star one day. She loved dancing and often imitated her favorite girl group, IVE. Her parents, devastated by the loss, said in their statement that their daughter brought light into every room she entered, and that their lives would never be the same. On October 21, 2025, the Daejeon District Court sentenced Myeong Jae-won to life imprisonment for the murder of Kim Ha-neul, even though the parents and prosecutors were pushing for a death sentence. However, they are still happy that at least justice has been served. If you found this case disturbing, you'll definitely want to check out the previous case I covered about someone else who was also supposed to protect others but turned out to be the real danger. See you in the next video.